All right, so we're 15 holes into your quest to ace all 18 holes at Timmins in Greenville. If you haven't seen those videos, go back and watch the previous 2 episodes. Super nuts. There's 3 holes left. You saved the hardest 3 for last. What's your mindset going into the course? Like, how many different days did you film for just these 3 holes?
11.
Like we talked about in the last thing, these are not just math holes that you can just throw a bunch and just, at some point one's going to stick. Yeah.
Although I tried that.
Yeah, right.
I emptied my car.
Which, your cart already has like 50 discs in it or something insane. So
Yeah.
if you emptied the trunk, that means...
Yeah, I drive a 4Runner.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Pretty much anything that would get there, I tried it just to make sure.
So let's start with the first of the 3.
The first one was 12.
Explain the hole for people, and they'll get to see some B-roll of the hole and stuff, but explain it.
This one, I was both thankful that I worked on some arm angle stuff before it, and also this is the one that I had to come to the course and check, can I even do this one? Because this is a backhand hole if you've ever seen one, because you need to skip it down the hill to the left, and otherwise, if it's not moving hard left, under a low ceiling, through a tight gap, you're not getting there. And I had to literally come scout this one out. I walked up and down the hill 2 or 3 times before I even started the whole thing, because hole 12 is on my mind.
How many basket hits? Or
honestly, more than I thought.
Really?
That's what kind of got me. I was like, oh, okay.
Got you energized. Like,
Here we
this
go.
is possible.
We can do it.
So
it's a big flex line.
So I just watched it for the first time, and can honestly tell you, if me and you went and scouted this and you were telling me that you were going to do it, I would be like, just don't get your hopes up.
Oh, yes, sir.
That is
insanity,
dude.
That one, it was also cooking. I can't believe the basket.
What disc is that?
Because that was that felon.
Brother, that looks like it almost popped out so easy.
I think if it wasn't a fluid felon, I think it pops out.
Oh, yeah. If it doesn't, take some of the impact of it. So then what's the next one? I mean, that's just, by the way, that's really stupid. I cannot believe
that one.
You got
that one I used the nets for again, by the way. I put it over the creek. The next one is, I guess, hole 11.
8, 9, 10, 11.
I want to say that's 3.
The T sign says 322, but it definitely plays uphill.
I didn't know it was 322. So I guess I was thinking it plays about 360 in my mind. It's not too uphill, but it's pretty uphill. This one is one of the coolest looking ones, I think.
Oh, come on. Get in there. Oh, that's an all-time.
That one was fun.
Oh, that's so satisfying.
That one I was legitimately injured after. I had to walk up and down that side hill. It's a really steep side hill to get the discs.
Yep.
Over and over again. I was hurting. That one took me at least 3 days. And I got to hammer that one to get it through that gap with something stable enough to come back around.
Because you've got to hit that height with it still fully spinning. You can't throw a little subtle flex that gets up there and just kind of lays. It has to be spinning. So I was at Yuli's wedding, and at my table, Dan Hastings and his wife, Sexton and his wife, and then Simon. And so I got to talk to Simon for a long time about ace running stuff, because he's, in so many ways, he paved the way for all of this stuff, So I was talking to him about this. He said his threshold for stuff that he would go out and try to film is anything over 280 all the way up to 300-ish. He's like, I can go out there and safely say, I can throw a million shots at this. I'll probably be fine. And I know that if I throw enough, I can get it. Anything past that, and I've found this too, you're relying on air to make sure that it doesn't get a weird wind bounce. You're relying on wind, not flipping something too much. It's a much more difficult thing to try to get something over 300 feet. So I can totally see
it.
I can totally see how that one would be crazy. Although I would say I would probably flip the one that we talked about first with that one. just because of how technical and how weird that angle was.
I had to throw this one a lot harder. That's why it was harder for me.
I guess I could see that. That kind of like Anheuser.
I just kind of lofted out there, and it gets the speed on its own.
Yes. It's picking up speed as it's falling.
This one going uphill had to smoke it over and over and over and over and over.
That is a crunch. And you got it with a Felon, you said?
That one was a Trident.
Oh.
It was a really stable Trident. It looks like a Felon the way that it flies.
Yeah.
But you can see it's going fairly slow, and then it just cuts to the right hard. It was an interesting flight.
Also, zero flutter out of your hand. That is a missile. Just
I have some flutter on a lot of my shots. That one was one of the smoothest I've ever thrown. I don't know what I did, but I got to figure that one out.
Yeah, that's buttery.
That's one of the few that you'll hear me say was buttery.
Okay. So you're 17 holes in, and you
feeling good, by the way.
You knew
I was like, I got this.
You knew that this was going to be the one.
I had like 3.5 weeks left.
So we'll show people the walkthrough of what this hole actually looks like, standing from the tee all the way. But explain it to people.
First of all, you can't see the basket. You can't see the basket from the tee box. I think it measures 385.
It's
380.
uphill.
Uphill. It's to the right, guarded by 5 or 6 trees. It's about, I don't know, 100 feet to the right. It's not just a dog leg right. Like, it goes hard right. And the power that I had to use to get there was the biggest thing, because I was like, man, yeah, this is cool. I really don't want to, overdo this. So I had to get a very specific shape to get there, very specific flight, from the disc. And I couldn't use something ridiculously stable to get it over there. I mean, there were so many elements of it.
Creek on the right. That eats, and you can easily lose a ton of discs.
And I did.
So talk me through what you were thinking shot shape wise. Was it always going to be one shot shape because there's only one way to access it?
I think so.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out if I could throw a tomahawk, because I would have loved to do that just to have some variety, and it would allow me to throw more discs. And then I was trying to think if I could throw different shapes or different speeds of forehand.
Yeah, I like that one.
There was really only one thing that was going to get there, and it was going to be a flip up, pushing fairly stable distance driver, but it had to be just stable enough to really get over there to the right once it started to lose speed, but then also not so stable that I had to use everything that I had to get it there.
Let's just go ahead and tell people how many days before it happened.
Well, so I made my last ace before this one. Walked over there, and I was like, hey, I got some time left in the day. Let's take some shots at it.
Yep.
And I hit the dead center of the cage and only had one camera going. I had the perfect wind that day. Everything was so perfect. That's the only way I got even close. Then comes the actual days. We went out there 5 days, and I had a team with me to get these discs. And if I hadn't, I would not, 1, be sitting here with you. 2, I'd probably be sitting somewhere else not being able to move.
Yeah.
And I'd be really frustrated, because it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have a lot of the Another Round guys and my guys from Greenville.
Shout out Another Round Greenville. Corey, what's up? Yeah, that guy runs 100 miles on purpose and in one fell swoop. So he's the same kind of crazy you are. Yeah. Yeah, he'll sit out there all day with you. So okay. First real day that you go out there and you're like, this is going to be the day that I do it.
I was feeling good.
How many shots?
I mean, first day we went out there it was 11 o'clock in the morning to literally sundown. 500.
I mean,
maybe 400. Because we weren't getting them as fast that day.
This is 400, 385-foot uphill, super specific, technical. I mean,
I used some rives that day.
How?
So helped a little bit.
How's your arm feeling at the end of that day? And how many basket hits did you have?
I was so
day?
mad it felt fine.
Yeah, just pure rage. Like, having played that hole and played that course, that's one that, like, every person that I know, including pros, would just think like, I'm good. I'm not even gonna try. Like, it's not possible. I haven't gotten to see the ace yet. I saved it for this video, but I did see some of the near misses that you sent over, and I did see Corey getting almost shinned.
Fun. Putting that one together was the little comic relief I needed when I was laying on the couch feeling like I got hit by a truck after like the 4th day.
Do it! No! So take us through then final day that it actually happened.
Man, I mean,
how many people are there?
It was early, and it was just me and Justin ready to run ragged once again.
How many throws into the day was it?
I think we said it was 17 minutes that we started.
Shut up.
I think it was something like that. So I had gotten to the point where I was so frustrated that I was like, I'm going to do literally everything that I can. I had gone and borrowed 20 discs from friends around the area. I was looking at the weather app to see the wind direction for that day. That's how I decided that day.
The disc, by the way, was one of those 20, right?
Or it wasn't.
It was not?
It was one of the. I drove around for 4 hours one day, going place to place, getting these discs, and it happened to be one that I had sitting in my outside building.
And I think there was a leaf blower involved one day.
Oh, that's the other thing I did. I definitely leaf blew all of the rock sticks and gumballs off of the.
Because it had to be a skip, right?
I think it had to be. I mean, it didn't have to be if the wind helped me, but I was done counting on the wind at that point.
Yeah.
There's a branch that makes it a low ceiling for actually acing that shot. It's not really a low ceiling, but.
Okay. So, was there a very real feeling of like, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's not going to happen.
I would like to say there wasn't. I would like to say I was confident I was going to do it.
Oh! Let's go! Yes! Let's go! Yes! 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 Let's go!
Come on,
Let's
Justin!
go! Let's go!
Yes!
Let's go!
That's it, baby! We did it, boys. Yes! Oh, thank you, God.
What disc was it?
Out of production Gladiator. Maybe we should start making them again. I don't know. That's just me.
Shut your mouth. Oh, I can't even believe that that's real time. It looks like it sped up at the end.
It did. I think that happened one time.
Oh my gosh.
That's the fastest like skip that I've seen actually
Shout
stay
out
in.
to that basket. No way.
I mean, that's why I went down and hugged it. By hugged it, I mean kind of tackled it.
Yeah, you listen.
Justin's like sprinting up the fairway behind me. Like he might have been happier than I was.
This looks like if somebody happens upon this video at some point that doesn't play disc golf, this just looks like somebody like acing to win a tournament in ball golf or something. Like it is.
That's what I was thinking.
Number one hype. I mean, I'm like, I'll run through a wall right now. That is so sick. Well, because it's just such a palpable amount of relief. It's like, it's
all the things.
Because like we said in the beginning, in some ways, this counts for nothing. This is just, but it obviously does.
That's the relief factor. Is like I chose to do this.
Yeah, right.
Don't put myself in this position, then not do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you just put yourself in a position to be frustrated.
Beers were on me that night.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that was
so good.
I think it's, in my mind, it is up there for me with James winning Worlds that year. And I know that that's like funny to you because of course it doesn't. You're not going to get a big contract because of this or something. But just achievement wise,
oh man,
it's so insane to me.
Yep.
But congratulations, buddy. Let's walk over into the shop and get you a beer or something. That's I can't say enough. Well, one, because of the content that's coming from it, thank you very much. I don't have to be someone that's throwing a trillion shots for once. And you know, and just for you, congrats.
I'm so happy to be here, and that's why I did it.
Super sick, buddy.
Heck
Let's
yeah,
do it.
guys.